What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always, Danny Coale, DC, UPenn's finest, Chris Coulter, CB Coach Boy. We got another great episode for you guys today. We will be recapping the NFC and AFC Championship games that just wrapped up yesterday. And man, I mean, it's only two games that we're talking about, but there is a lot to talk about. But of course, before we get into any of that, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications so you don't miss us or any of the great shows on here that upload. And of course, go over to our regular YouTube, do all the same things, and then audio platform, leave a like, follow the show, leave a 5-star review, all the good stuff to push the algorithm. But Danny can get us kicked off with Summits and Plummets.
Summit. First quarterback to return to the Super Bowl after losing his first one since, I'll let you guys guess.
My pup-up just sent me this, but I forget who the...
It's been 33 years.
He literally just sent me this. It's got to be Jim Kelly, right?
Bingo.
Yeah, and he did it a couple times, and he
let's just say, let's hope he doesn't go down the path as Jim Kelly.
Yeah, yeah, that would be brutal. But
yeah, proved all the haters wrong. Anyone who said a word about him, and I love to see it. As one of my favorite players. He just did it. He did the damn thing.
Yeah. Chris, don't be making that face because I'll say wins are a QB stat real fast, and nobody's gonna be happy.
Wins are only a QB stat when it sounds good for the one argument.
But Justin Jefferson, the first wide receiver to make wins a wide receiver stat.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but only when they win. When they lose, losses aren't a wide receiver stat.
Nah, I saw someone was like, Justin Jefferson still doesn't have a playoff win in his career. I'm like, okay, dude. He's trying out there with Kirk Cousins and Sam Darnold, which like he's quarterback proof anyway, but they just line up against bad matchups. Like it ain't his fault. But
Double Summit is going to be the city of Philadelphia. And it might get a lot of flack on the internet, but the response that the city of Philadelphia gets to just winning, people are like, oh, you burned down your own city, you party, blah blah blah. Like, come on, dude.
You wish you could do that. Like, you wish you could just find any reason to just clog up the biggest street in the city and just
the longest street in America, longest.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, come on. Like, so.
Broad Street, it's the place to be. Chris, what are your thoughts on this? You're not a Philly guy. You're not a Northeast guy.
Man, boy, if we could have Chris up for the if and when they win the Super Bowl, boy, I wish Chris could be here for that night. He had never seen anything like it.
If they win and I'll go celebrate. I don't even have a troll to say. I was gonna have a troll. I don't have a troll. But I will say this though. I think it is dumb to like actually burn stuff or mess up stuff in your city, but at the same time, it's like it's your city, you gotta live there, so it's up to you anyway. So that's how I really look at it. I don't really care. And also, I think what Tone said is the biggest deal. That type of stuff usually comes from people who never won anything, like Michael Jordan, when he was like, "That's you, but you never won anything." Like that's what y'all should say to everybody.
That is my favorite quote of all time. Well, that's you because you've never won anything. But that is how I feel.
How serious he was like, "Oh, well, that's you." Because you never won. He gave him 2 fingers to the face because you never won anything. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, bro, when you win, you can do what you want. And they won, so they can do what you want. So shout out to Philly for celebrating. And like I said, that's what happens when you live in a big city with good sports. You're going to have fun after you win. That's what happens. Sorry, Dallas. It's a bunch of Dallas people hating. But it's like, bro, y'all should have rioted when the Rangers won. That was your only chance because everything else is cooked. It's GG for everything else. But I'll say Summit is – now I'm done with hearing the if, almost, and cans being better than my guy because now this is just so great. Josh Allen has as much hardware as Josh Hart, but supposedly One
I
is
think
better
Josh
than
Hart
the other.
has a
All
I
I'm
think
saying,
Josh Hart has an NBA Hustle Award. Please
he sure
respect
does.
him.
He sure
Please
does.
respect Josh Hart.
One Josh has accolades, one doesn't. I'm sorry. And I'm just happy that now I get to witness another summer of just, oh, well, ifs and cans, if we would have, if we should have, if man. Well, Lamar's if man too, but your guys if man's too. So now I'm happy about that. And also I'm happy because a double summit, even though I wanted the Commanders to win because Jaden Dane's my guy, I'm happy that an actually formidable team is going up against the Eagles. Like, yes, it's Warriors, Cavs again. Like, you can be mad about seeing the same two teams in the Super Bowl, but it's like just be a better team than them and you won't have to see them no more. So I don't really have no problem with that. But I'm happy the Eagles are the one to make it against the Chiefs. I think they had the best chance of beating them out of any of the teams. I thought the Lions had a good chance, but they were literally frauds. So just looking forward to another good week. And Triple Summit, WNBA starting to get that NBA love now. Starting to get that NBA 5-team trade where 18 pieces are moved, and it's still going to be pieces moved after the draft. So I'm just excited that people are starting to care about that because that happens more often than you think, but it just never was really looked at like that because of the WNBA. So
Yeah, I would say I don't know if the WNBA has like a Shams per se, like who breaks down all the transactions like that, but Shams doing it, like that's huge. Like, you know how many people have Shams Charania's post notifications on? And of course, you're going to get the early trolls saying who, no one cares, but they'll do that on any post. Like, I saw that and I'm like, what are my eyes? Like, one of my favorite players just got traded to go play with one of my other favorite players in Los Angeles. And Lloyd's coming to play with the best roster in the WNBA, who they just didn't win last year because they just think everything's funny. But I don't know. I think that's like, it's honestly great. It's honestly great.
A backcourt with Joel Lloyd and Chelsea Gray.
Come on. Like, that is one of the only backwards you can make that sounds better than, like, instead of Plum being there, like, Lloyd is one of the only people you can plug in there and make that team better. But you look at this team, you look at, the contract situation, it's like, how can they get better? This. And it sucks, trying to, like, letting go of a player like Plum who is detrimental to your championships, was Asia's running mate for a little bit. You could argue second best player on a team. It's still great for the league, and great for the Sparks too. I mean, of course, you have the two young, stars in Brink and Rakia Jackson. I think of course it's going to take a little bit longer to get to said championship status, but bringing in that championship pedigree is first and foremost the most important thing, especially a player of Plum's caliber. So I'd probably say that's my summit. That was awesome. And then Plummet.
Get it?
I don't know.
Put
Plummet. Yeah. You cooked. I would love to watch a football game and not see, and maybe any sporting event, and just not see these two things on the timeline. 2 days ago, apparently the whole world had DeMar DeRozan's rebounds. The entire country of America had DeMar DeRozan's rebounds, and they were mad that they took away that wasn't his rebound. That's not his. That's an intentional tap out. Come on, dude. That's not his rebound.
Yes, but the only problem is when Tyson Chandler did control tip outs, they gave him rebounds sometimes. That's why the world's mad. That's how they count.
All the people who bet on DeMar DeRozan don't know anything about Tyson Chandler, I'm afraid. So that's a good point.
You have no idea how good Tyson Chandler is.
Yo, Tyson Chandler was a beast on the 2012 Olympic run. Don't get me started. That dude was a beast. And that's when I first got into ball. I thought Tyson Chandler was like an all-timer. Like, it's still like a great player. Don't get me wrong. I'm thinking this dude's like up there with like Shaq or whatever. I'm like, yo, this dude is a beast. I had no idea. Also around that time, Shaq was on the Celtics. So I kind of just pictured, like when I think of Shaq, I think of the Celtics. But like, he's obviously a Laker, a Magic. I guess you could say his third most important stint was Celtics, though, because that really lets you know he's done.
I'm surprised you didn't bring up another point for your summit.
Oh, what? From the WNBA trade? Or
no, that your Eagles Celtics fandom might be warranted.
Oh, yes. Yes, Jeffrey Lurie is interested in purchasing the Boston Celtics. thank you for bringing that up because I posted this I retweeted it on Twitter, and I was just like, Laurie pays his guys. So this is beautiful because the whole starting five is making a bag. Everybody somehow, well, Derek White is making a little bit less than what he could have. Same with Drew Holiday. Same with Porzingis. And I think same with Tatum. Tatum's is by like $1 million, so take that for what you will. But that would just be cool. Like Danny's nightmare of Josh Harris owning one of his favorite teams. And then I wouldn't say you dislike the Commanders, but like imagine if Harris owned the Sixers and the Steelers. It'd be like, this is my nightmare. Me, and Jeffrey Lurie, who I think is one of the best owners in sports, who he's really not all up in the media. You don't really get a lot of quotes from him unless it's really just to light a fire under Howie, I would say. Because I think Lurie was.
I don't think Harris is a bad owner.
No, Danny, can you remember this correctly? When the Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts, someone up there was a Wentz guy and someone was a Hurts guy. I think Lurie might have been a Wentz guy, but Howie was a Hurts guy. Or maybe I have it backwards. It was something like that, but that's really the last time I've heard Jeffrey Lurie's name in the media.
Peterson.
Well, Peterson
like
benched.
Wentz.
Well, he benched Wentz and saw great results immediately. The kind of the only reason he probably.
Apparently, he wanted to start Wentz, and like ownership wanted him to. That's why he
benched him. And I think that speaks volumes though, because when your quarterback is making that much money, and the guy who is writing his checks is like, I've seen enough. Like I will pay him to not play. I think that really speaks volume, and I think the Browns should probably take note. That's just
they did,
but, yeah. But hey,
didn't have an Achilles tear. It's fake. They still
they went back there and ripped it themselves.
That's crazy. He said Kevin Stefanski said, "Fine, I'll do it myself."
He said, "Enough of this. Let me get that leg."
Yeah, but let's really get into this Eagles Commanders game. Eagles get a big win, 55-23.
A big win. The biggest win ever in the NFC.
One would say it was massive. It was massive. But none of our score predictions were. Well, Danny's was close on the fact they won by 2 touchdowns, but 55 points?
I did say it wasn't going to be close. I said the game was like.
Yeah, no. I can give you credit on that one. You did say the Eagles would go out and dominate, and that's entirely what happened. But here we can start with Chris. I mean JD5, his legendary great, and I can say this with full confidence, greatest rookie quarterback season of all time has finally come to an end. At some point, I gotta put success. Success has to be because
Andrew Luck's my boy.
I still think it's Jane Daniels. I think Andrew Luck deserves a little bit more say in the conversation, though.
What do you do?
Luck, what was he? He was
lost to Brady, I believe.
No, his rookie year. Oh no, he lost to the Ravens in the divisional round. Went to Baltimore and it got rough. It got rough.
Got spanked up. So we're not counting that because ifs don't count in this world.
To be fair, I think Andrew Luck was debatably running out there with a worse roster than Jaden Daniels was.
He is.
Look, I'm still taking JD's 5 season all day. He protected the ball better than Luck. He accounted for, I believe, more touchdowns, if not like around the same range. And that this roster is certainly not impressive. I mean, like Luck had maybe like a little bit out of his prime. Still really good Reggie Wayne. You know, Daniels has McLaurin. I guess those two are comparable. But outside of that, like Daniels isn't working with much. But
hey man,
that was more evident than anything.
How old is Andrew Luck right now?
34, 35.
He's 35.
He's 35.
I don't remember him, but his time was so fast.
He played for like 5 years, dude.
Yeah, because he played like his first 4 years, was on like some pretty decent like top 10 trajectory, had a weird shoulder injury for about like a year and a half, and he came back, literally did not look like he missed a step. Like he like people don't joke when people like there are marks in history when we're talking about like the greatest quarterback prospects. You either say the best prospect since Luck or you say the best prospect since Elway. And those are kind of the two like landmarks.
And then it's Trevor Lawrence, who's still a prospect at the age of 25, whatever he is.
True. chill. but Lawrence was, he was getting the generation. I mean, as a prospect, Lawrence was amazing. Same thing with Williams. But I think, you know what? That's my resolution for this draft cycle. No one gets the generational label. I'm not giving it to anyone.
Who would deserve it anyway? It's Travis.
Oh, but Travis might be generational. But I'm trying my best not to throw around that label. But Travis is not even generational. He is just one of one. Yeah, like I don't even.
He's Victor, bro.
He's legendary.
He's like Victor.
As Shador would say. But yeah, I'm gonna try not to use that until Jeremiah Smith is ready to get drafted.
And Ryan Williams.
Chris, thoughts on the There, let's get into this championship game talk. Chris, what'd you think about this one? Anything come to a shock to you at all?
No. When I gave my analysis, I was like, yeah, I want the Commanders win, but I can easily see the Eagles winning, and that's really what happened. I forgot who said it first. We've been like y'all two been saying it for a while, and I've kind of gotten onto it. Every time also Eckler got the ball today, I just but not a pass. Like whenever they ran the ball with him, bro, watching his legs and his feet move, it's almost like he was getting pulled down by sludge and people at the same time. I've never seen a person's feet look slower than that. But again, this Eagles defense is like the Chiefs defense last year in the sense of you don't run against them. I wouldn't run against Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. No way. They tried it. It just didn't work.
It's not even them, dude. It's not even just that. It's
Milton Williams. I know who it is, but
Jomo.
It's
Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter are the reason. Those two are the reason to me. If you look at it in the middle, like your Milton Williams, I think he's a big part of it too, and then everybody else behind them. But those two, bro, you can't get past them two, or you have to double both of them, and then everybody gets.
Yeah, they're minimum two bodies every single time.
Yeah, they're special.
And that leaves Bond and Burks downhill.
Yeah, I think it was just more talent. Just more talent on the field for the Eagles, and not like in the they just stacked the team. It's just they're just better. And Jane Daniels got that team, I think, farther than they should have been. I think obviously expectations were lower for a reason. But I think it was just a complete game by the Eagles. You just this is what happens when you got two really good running players. Like obviously Jalen Hurts, the biggest things they're going to talk about him is him using his arm this week because obviously people forget that he can use it when he doesn't use it weekly, I guess. But outside of that. This is what happens when you can really pound people into submission. Like they couldn't stop the run, so you don't have to do anything else. And then when you try to stop the run, short passes are there, then over the tops there. It's just really nothing you can do. I think it's just a game where you can see the Eagles had the Commanders at their mercy. Just a young quarterback finding out the hard way. But I think it's a great season by Daniels. But I think it's just I think Danny said last week destined. And I think this was a destiny butt whooping head up until. Next week when they go see the Chiefs.
Yeah. One thing I want to note is
Danny, what can you recollect from this game?
I recollect the whole entire game. After the game was I remember
you must have got that water in a 3-hour gap between the talk we had and the start of the game.
No water.
No water. You're just a beast.
I'm just a beast. So some
might say. I'll take your word for it. You are a beast.
A couple slices of pizza will get you right.
That is absolutely true. I can't lie. Can't confirm.
Yeah, but no, the Philadelphia Eagles. I want to say it's going to sound crazy. They're 55 points, and what I want to talk about is their D line. It's not usual when a team's worst edge rusher is getting paid the most amount of money out of their group. Bryce Huff is getting paid $15 million a year, and he's the worst edge rusher on the team. Legitimately, it doesn't make sense.
He gets paid.
He gets rotational snaps.
Hardly. You just won't hear his name called.
Yeah, and that's not even a knock on him. He's a solid edge rusher. The Eagles just have so much depth there. And it's so much different than 2022 and so much closer to 2018. When you think about the 2018 Eagles, they had depth at the edge rush. Their D-line, they would rotate Brandon Graham and Chris Long in, 2 Hall of Famers, probably. They might. I mean, Chris Long probably, but BG might be. I don't know if he is.
I don't know about BG.
He might be.
Hall of very good. Hall of very.
He'll be in the Hall of
Not
Fame
a
for
Hall
one
of
thing
Famer.
at least.
The Eagles Hall of Fame, absolutely.
No, not that.
Oh.
I'm saying the strip sack. He'll have a picture in there at least.
Oh yeah. He's in Canton forever, but
Yeah,
for sure.
but very. The Eagles stopped the old GOAT in the Super Bowl back in 2018 from almost cementing his legacy. Can they do the same thing in 2025? It's something that we're gonna have to see. This team, it just feels complete. Where the Chiefs don't feel like a complete team anymore. And you could say, like, last time the Eagles and Chiefs played, I was just watching some highlights. The Eagles did not look complete at all. Like it was a Jalen Hurts carry job to the end. Like you were trotting out, what's his name? Number 3, the receiver.
Please respect. Wait, are you talking about in the Super Bowl or?
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna respect Zach Pascal.
Yeah, come on, man. He was okay.
Dude, he was easily come on. That was a legit wide receiver 3. He was a beast.
He got cut
He
the
was
next
a beast.
year.
Scored on the Steelers too. He didn't get cut. It's just couldn't pay him. We brought in Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus was really good too. Well, really, Pascal's year he was wide receiver 4 because we hadn't done away with Quez Watkins yet. He was still pretty good.
But yeah,
be missing Quez sometimes. But
I think the reality is this team is they'll do whatever every way that you ask for. You want to run the ball, you want to pass the ball. They got every bit of balance that you need. And props to Kellen Moore.
Oh, absolutely.
He's calling the best game for this Spurs.
Yeah, easily the best game he's called this year. Between that and the Steelers game, those were 2 very nicely called football games.
And did you know? Did you ever think of a day where you see the Philadelphia Eagles put up 50 points in a conference championship game?
We would have had to have played a team that nice story, but you're very lucky to be here, and that was the situation.
It was. I mean, yeah. I feel like it was pretty obvious.
Even the Vikings back in the 2017-2018 season, they were still a really good team with just a highly questionable guy at quarterback. But that guy got hot, and you almost had to respect them. The whole 3 of the 4 quarterbacks in those conference championship games were guys who just got hot. And Nick Foles didn't catch fire until the conference championship game. So,
yeah. I do want to say something though. The Philadelphia Eagles team. I spoke a lot last week about adversity and how adversity builds teams. 4th down and 5. Eagles just failed a 2-point conversion. Commanders just failed a 2-point conversion. And AJ Brown, deep shot sideline. AJ motions across. Hurts hits him for a big 30-yard gain. They don't connect there. The game is open. The Eagles not only responded to a punch, but they kept punching, literally and figuratively. Because Zach Bowen punched the ball out. Surprised he didn't break Cooper DeJean's hand, but yeah, it's miraculous. This team, just early 2010s Steelers Ravens type defense.
I think I can get behind that a little bit. I think what really sells it is the physicality from the corners.
Yeah.
Slay, not so much. Slay's willing, though. Slay's willing to tackle. DeJean likes to tackle. Mitchell likes to tackle. The safeties are very, very physical. Blankenship and Gardner Johnson love to tackle. Both of them can play in the box. That's how physical they are. They can both go free safety, strong safety, doesn't matter. And then the linebackers, like you said, these are downhill guys. Bond is someone who I think has effectively mastered the peanut punch. I think he probably does it the best in the NFL right now. I mean, not that there's only 2 teams left, but he's done a great job all year, forcing fumbles that way. One guy holds him up.
Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter is I think of course, how physically dominant he is. I think people look past that. I think he might just be a football genius. His knack for he's called his own stunts. If you watch the mic'd up against the Rams, he tells Nolan they run a stunt and they make a play, and Carter's like, thanks for trusting me, and Nolan's like, nah, like, dude, if you see something, we're running it. And he's a knack for forcing fumbles. One of these days, he's gonna catch a spike, and it's gonna be awesome.
In the Super Bowl against Mahomes.
Yeah, he's gonna try to run up, clock it, picked off by Jalen Carter. That'd be something. But
and I'm gonna tell you something. Jalen Carter's gonna be the X factor in the Super Bowl. They didn't have him last time they played.
Yeah, I think honestly you could count on all the Bulldogs to be that kind of X factor, because last time they played, if you want to chalk it up to wet field or not, still 0 sacks on Mahomes. And Hassan Reddick had I think 17 sacks that year.
Yeah, a lot.
And he didn't even get close to Mahomes, not even once. Not saying Nolan Smith is already on that level. I mean, these playoffs, he's been on that level. He's actually the single postseason leader in Eagles history in sacks, 4.5 already.
That's crazy. Fangio and Eagles linebackers as well. Last time they played, they had no linebackers. They were atrocious.
Well, last time they played, I will give these two their credit. TJ Edwards, like, you have to remember, like, of course you would know, Eagles don't prioritize linebackers. So when we got TJ Edwards and Kaiser White and Jonathan Gannon had them in such a great position, we're like, well, hey, like, we need to re-sign these guys. Now we didn't know what good linebacker play looked like until this year. Until we have and I like that you point on Fangio specifically, because like Nakobe Dean was great. And we're like, oh, Oren Burks is going to come in. It's like, maybe we should see Trotter a little bit. Oren Burks has been awesome. Yeah. He's been great. And of course, you have Defensive Player of the Year finals. So it's just so many.
You should win it. Like, I'm not even lying. I think you should win it.
It's tough competition. I think Surtain played a very, very good year. And in a year where maybe no edge rusher stands out, they'll probably lean, to the strong corner. But I agree. I think Bond has a good of a case as anybody. And I don't wish they included postseason into awards. That's not how it's done. And anything can happen in the postseason to ruin somebody's entire case. But Bond would have a pretty strong case if you included postseason, and Saquon Barkley would most certainly have a better case. Not saying he has the case, because Lamar, who will be the most likely winner, had one of the great regular seasons I've ever seen by a quarterback, by any player, really. But Saquon, I think, honestly, if you had the chalk in the postseason as well, I think I'd put Barkley ahead of Allen. I think I will put Barkley ahead of Allen. I think when we were
and Lamar, and this is coming from a Lamar fan, and this is the real deal. Saquon was the third most valuable player at the least throughout the whole season. Josh, Lamar, Saquon. In the playoffs, Saquon Barkley has been easily the most valuable player to his team. So I think he wins that award if postseason counts.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know. It's hard to gauge. Playoff football it requires different stuff, but it takes a real man to admit that. I want you to know. It takes a real man to to openly admit that, oh, my guy didn't win it.
It's not even that. Lamar's stock only got better.
The king of objectivity.
Yeah. Lamar's stock only got worse in the playoffs, and Saquon's only got better.
Well, I don't even think Lamar's got worse. That is the craziest part about it all.
It did. He had three interceptions the entire year, and he threw one in the game.
He had his team in a position to win. I mean,
Herbert did the same thing.
I don't think less of him. I don't. No, what Herbert did was crazy. I don't think less of Herbert for it though. You just picked a really bad time to have the worst game of your entire life. And Lamar, sure, it was bad early, but he bounced back. I already said how I feel about that last week. But again, with this game though,
sorry. Jerry Jones admitted that hiring Brian Schottenheimer is a big risk.
Okay. Yeah. So that's where one NFC East team's at. The other one at least has a direction, and they went for the tank. They're going to try to get a quarterback, or they have a high draft pick, and then you have 2 in the conference championship game, and then you have the freaking Dallas Cowboys. But with this
That's
game
hilarious.
though, I just wanted to point some things out for the Commanders specifically. Defense can't stop a nosebleed. That was very evident against Detroit. Detroit was averaging 7 yards a play. If you take away Goff's turnovers, maybe it's a different game, but can't turn the ball over that way. And that's what effectively won the Commanders the game because, hey, we can't get a stop, but if we can force maybe a couple bad plays, they can't stop us either. So that's kind of the direction I think that went in. And then with the Eagles, they just don't turn the football over. They don't do that. They force turnovers and they don't give it up. I believe it was a 4-0 turnover differential in the Eagles' favor. I think 3 fumbles and then that last pick that I'm not even going to put on Jaden Daniels. And I know there's not a category for not his fault on an interception, but like Quinion Mitchell beat Terry McLaurin for a jump ball. I mean, like how many corners can even do that? So back to with the Commanders though. Again, Daniels played an overall clean game, and I think he'll get the least amount of blame of anybody on this Commanders team, and rightfully so. However, I think they could have afforded to be a little bit more aggressive. A lot of his shots were between like 10, 15 yards, which those are still good, effective plays for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you there. The thing about the Eagles defense though, they run a cover 2 high shell, and it's really impossible for them to take a lot of these deep shots. These 50-40 yard bombs that they were taking on the Lions downfield. When you're running CD and Reed back there, it's hard to do that, especially with the Eagles cornerback play. So I understand what you're saying. They need to be more aggressive, but it's hard with the cornerback room and the way the Eagles safeties, they play the bend don't break football.
No, and you're absolutely right. But it's just kind of like when you're facing a team with the home run ability of the Eagles, not even through the air, like they have home run ability sitting in the backfield. 2 of them, as Hurts also proved this postseason. But I think you have to, you can't play scared. Reed is beatable. And Gardner Johnson has been really good after the first 4 weeks where he was getting a touchdown put on his head every single game. But no, I mean, you do make it like it's not the smartest thing to do, but I do think you have to play a little bit more. Be a little bit braver, in the situation like this. And then as for the Commanders' defense, 2 all-pro linebackers, like for what?
I don't know if they're all pro.
They're not. Luvu's great. I think Luvu is really good. Bobby Wagner he's not good. And he hasn't been for some time. He's been fine. He stands out on a defense that is absolutely horrible. He's still like, let me not say he's not good. That's just not true. But definitely not the guy you want on your championship defense at this stage of his career.
No.
Luvu's fun though. Luvu is
He kept things
interesting. Yeah, he kept things interesting by trying to swanton bomb Jalen Hurts. He was trying to do his best Jeff Hardy impression off the ladder.
I would do the same thing.
That kept things interesting. But I mean, like Marcus Lattimore, he couldn't hold AJ Brown all day. They weren't having much luck on the other side either. They were having trouble guarding Dallas Goedert. Obviously, couldn't stop the run. I mean, after that big run, I mean, I wouldn't say they were horrible against the run, but that run did happen, and it happened on the first play from the Eagles offense. So that was a complete tone center by Saquon, who if we're talking greatest running back seasons of all time, postseason included, I think I would put Barkley at 1. I think I really, really would, because despite the box stacking that he goes against, And, yesterday they were down Cam Jurgens to start, and then Landon Dickerson goes down. So Jurgens has to go back in, even with the back issues. So he's rolling out there with Becton and Steen as his guards. And he was still making things happen. So he is, I don't know the tracker for 3K scrimmage yards. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I think we're about 200 something, not banking on him having like 250 yards in the Super Bowl, but it's just the show he's having, just such an all-time season. And how about Jalen Hurts? Nick Sirianni said it best. All he does is win. That's all he does. And of course, we're not quarterback or winning is a quarterback stat. That's not what we do up here. But I mean, at some point, I think the two have correlation. And I don't know how many times he has to go out there and prove it that, what makes the Eagles so dangerous is the fact that on top of having the best offensive player in football, or, at least, one of the three best offensive players in football, they can also throw the ball to a top 3 receiver, one of the best wide receiver 2s in the league, one of the best tight ends in the league, with one of the 10 best quarterbacks in the league. That's, I hate that he's the only one that has to prove this week in and week out.
Nope. Nope. I'm gonna tell you what, this is, what Jalen Hurts is entering? Jalen Hurts is entering that thing where it's like, we don't have anything else to say. So every week you don't do something we think you can't do great, we're going to bring it up. Perfect example. Every week Lamar Jackson throws under 25 yards. He's the best runner in the game. Don't know how his arm is. Whenever Jalen Hurts throws under 200 yards, I mean, he's getting carried by the running game. He has A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. I mean, it's going to happen every week because he has A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. People know how good they are. Every time he doesn't throw for 250 and 3 touchdowns, Jalen Hurts can't be a quarterback. He's just a running back. It's going to be every single week. And I think it's a privilege in a sense. It's bad, but it's a privilege. Like, they expect so much from you because all you do is win and all the good things. But it's just a ugly part that comes with it. That's what I think for Jalen Hurts.
No, and you make a great point. And Joe Mazzulla actually had a quote about this. They talked about, how does it, like, do you talk to Jason Tatum about dealing with pressure? And Joe Mazzulla is like, you get to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly.
You get to have these unrealistic expectations because you're a special player. Jalen Hurts, kind of the same thing. And Danny knows the Eagles-Celtics similarities are not stopping anytime soon. Not stopping anytime soon. 2 years ago, they bust on the scene. They lose to the dynasty of their era. Last year, a complete collapse in the playoffs. This year, they load up. They lose a fan favorite in Kelsey and Smart. They load up with Porzingis and Holiday. The Eagles get Saquon and Zach Bond, and they nail the draft.
Saquon is so much better than Porzingis.
Yes, yes. Think it's as well. You could argue. Well, just arguing for the sake of comparing the two teams.
Or you look at it this way: Saquon is like adding Porzingis and Drew because you added a rush and receiving threat, and then you added a defender and a rush.
I could be behind that.
Well, or you could be like with the Celtics. Well, Saquon was already on the team. Again, I'm just comparing teams here. Jason Tatum was already on the team. You just needed to add,
Tatum's got to be Hurts, dude. Come on now.
Oh, or drowns him.
Whoa! What are you talking about?
Drowns him. Doesn't have enough.
What are you talking about? Why would Tatum not be the best player on the team?
So Hurts.
Saquon?
Let's please not get ahead of ourselves. We can legit name 3 players on offense better than Jalen Hurts. Just call it what it is.
3?
AJ Brown, Lane Johnson, and Saquon Barkley are the 3 best players on offense. Just go call it what it is. Jalen is in a fight at 4th with Jordan Mailata.
I can get behind Saquon and AJ, but
Lane, I might argue Lane is, in comparison to his position with the rest of the people in the league, Saquon might be a far stretch because he's just legit the best
positional
back in the league.
Too. That's true.
Lane is arguably the best right tackle in the league.
I get that. That's real.
Yeah, no, you're crazy talking about some Tatum fourth bet boy.
Stop. He is. Remember he got delegated to 4th best on the in the playoff.
Maybe the 4th best player in the league, sure. At worst, 5.
Well, Steve Kerr told us that he wasn't one of the best 12 Americans. So I want Steve prosecuted tonight.
Hey, look, we got the gold medal, so I can't complain too much. But yeah, just an overall dominant showing from Philly. Jalen Hurts once again proves that just because I don't doesn't mean I can't. And he let everybody know. AJ Brown got back on a good pace. Same with Dallas Goedert. Saquon still did his thing. And apparently people are crying refs in a 32-point blowout. I don't think they would have changed things that much.
What were they mad at? What place?
There was the unsportsmanlike conduct on Marshawn Lattimore in the end zone where they're like, oh, Lattimore got his helmet.
That was a little crazy, I think. But
anyone who has ever played sports, it's not about who hits first. It's who gets caught first.
That's true.
And by the time the ref was looking, AJ Brown was just blocking. That's all he was doing.
I had a question though. Like I thought it was like an automatic something, and y'all could clear it up. Like when somebody gets their helmet taken off, like what is the rule about that? Isn't it like a penalty or something? Like if your helmet comes off while you're on the field,
if you take your helmet off on the field, it is unsportsmanlike conduct.
Oh, is that what Marshawn got it for? Because I know his helmet was off.
No, he got it because the ref caught him mugging AJ Brown in the face. But AJ was already up in arms. He was already like I didn't do anything. So he played it right.
Yeah, they try saying the Saquon Barkley hit wasn't late.
That was late. That was a late hit. I would argue they had another late hit on Devontae Smith who got like body slammed out of bounds. But
I've seen later hits, but that was a late hit for sure.
Yeah, like come on, like it was that. It was okay. It was going to set up a fourth down and be a punt, but it was going to be a 4th and 5.
I mean, if it was
plus side of the field, like the Eagles Eagles later did a 4th and 5 and they completed a bomb to AJ Brown. People are at it, and this will perfectly lead into the AFC Championship game. People are posting out of context, like screen grabs, like, oh, this wasn't labeled a first down and this wasn't called a hold and this and that. And it's like you get to sit back behind your computer and constantly just find the perfect frame for your agenda to push that this was a hold, this was a first down, this wasn't a late hit, this wasn't roughing the passer, while the refs have to watch all this in real time. Sure, there are things they get to go back and watch. But again, you have to consider if whatever they call on the field, if they cannot 100% overturn it, they can't do it. They have to find undeniable proof to do that. And a lot of these things, they can't. They can't look past this. Like, so with Bills, Chiefs, obviously there are two big ones. There was the first down that wasn't called a first down, which it was about as close as it could get. Just because Allen's head is over the line does not mean the ball is over the line. That is not how this works. It's never worked that way. And then I'm trying to think, what was the other bad penalty? Danny, I know there was another call that people were complaining about, but I can't think of it.
It's on the Chiefs game?
Oh, it was the Xavier Worthy had the one-handed catch that was pinned against the other dude's hand.
Oh, yeah.
And it hit the ground, and people were like,
Brown, right?
No, I thought that was – no, I think that was Xavier Worthy who caught that. And people were posting of course, the out-of-context screenshot of the ball hitting the ground. They're like, this is clearly incomplete.
Man, I think that was incomplete.
It wasn't, but personally, you would be wrong because that's objectively a catch. The ball does not move when it hits the ground.
Moved.
The ball did not move. The ball did not move. That ball did not move. He has control of that. He did not need the ground to complete his catch. The ground did not help him secure the ball. That was a catch. What might be up for debate is who has possession, but somebody caught it and they gave it to Worthy.
I think possession change at the ground is my issue with the thing.
The ball did look. Xavier Worthy caught it, and then they were down, and the ball didn't move as the ball was in his hand. And that's another thing. I think a couple drives later, it's the 2-minute warning before the half, but there's a less than a second difference between the game clock and the play clock. Someone posts a screenshot and says, "How is this not delay of game?" All you have to do is listen. All you have to do is listen to the broadcast. They explain it. They explain everything. same thing happened in the Eagles game. They were like the refs talking about they could award the Eagles points. I'm like, yeah,
Never heard of that in my life.
You never
Before
heard of
that.
it because you've never opened an NFL officiating book in your life.
No, I know that. I'm saying I've just never heard a team.
Of course you
get to
haven't,
that
because you
point.
haven't seen somebody keep trying to take out the quarterback on on encroachments 5 plays in a row. That it's just like people think they're making up rules on the spot and whatnot. It's like, dude, no, they study these like rule books inside and out. Of course they know when you don't.
Yeah, it tells me it's like Madden online. If you click off, if you're like keep getting penalties on purpose in Madden online, they'll just kick you out the game. They'll say you've griefed. You're out of there.
They're not gonna like call unsportsmanlike conduct on you. They're gonna do it literally. They're gonna kick you out of the game. So
yep.
Let's go to Chris though. I mean, watching the other two AFC elites go at it. What were your thoughts on this one? What'd you take away from this?
Successful hate watch. Very successful. Only because it's no beating the Chiefs right now, honestly. And I do want to say one more thing. It's only one player in the NFL who doesn't get unsportsmanlike conduct penalties no matter what. And his name rhymes with Mavis Milsey. He's the only one who can do it. Other than that, you get unsportsmanlike conduct, you do anything else. But I will say this. Game aside, crying aside, refs aside, it's what the Chiefs been doing all year, finding ways to win. Just whatever they need to do, just finding ways to win. And no matter what, if you're tired of seeing it, if you were tired of Cavs, Warriors, but you have to respect it. Because at the end of the day, these are all professional athletes trying to do the same thing. And they keep finding a way to do it. Now, some things look a little wonky when you slow it down, all those things. I get that. But at the end of the day, bro, they're doing what they need to do. So shout out to the Chiefs for that. But I will say, what I saw in the Bills yesterday was kind of what my fear was been all year. Not fear, but like my only take. It's really two offensive guys that are really good, and then everybody else is kind of like James Cook.
Awesome.
One of my favorite running backs. Shout out Dalvin too. One of my older favorite running backs. Josh Allen played a good game. I guess. But they didn't have enough.
Maybe it's not a hot take, but
I don't think the Bills had enough. Like, no matter, I think, and Tony Romo couldn't stop saying Superman yesterday to save his life. But I think Josh Allen would have had to be even more Superman than he was to win, just because I don't think they have enough offensively. The defense played better than I expected them to do. In my opinion, I didn't expect them to play as well against the Chiefs just because the Chiefs have so many options. They have Patrick Mahomes. I think they play well. But just don't think the offense was able to do enough. Now, the Chiefs are a good defense. I get that. But in this time, everybody's a good defense for the most part. Everybody's a good offense for the most part. Is how you get to this place. And I think those type of things separated, and I don't think the Bills did enough. I'm not going to sit here and rag on Josh Allen because I've been successful hate watch, so I don't have anything else to do. But this is the time where when you employ Superman and you make him have to be Superman because your other spots aren't super, this is just the outcome you can get. A really close game where he did all you can to will you there. You just can't get past it. That's what happens. So yeah, like I said, just more the same from the Chiefs, dude. More the same. Just finding ways to win. They didn't have to block a kick this time, but they just did a bunch of other random stuff. P. Ryan getting the game sealing catch. Did he even play the first like 3.5 quarters? Like, what was it's just randoms, big name guys, other randoms. They're just gonna make plays. So shout out to the Chiefs for coming out with a win.
Yeah.
I would say they look more and more like the Patriots every day with the randoms that get.
And I want to say this about Tom Brady too. Tom Brady is the reason why people like Michael Jordan will probably never go into broadcasting. When you listen to Tom Brady talk, it's like he's trying to say good things about the game, but in the back of his mind is like, I wouldn't have done that. Like, yes, Tom, you're one of the two best ever to play. You probably wouldn't have done that. And this is one thing you said about Jalen Hurts the whole game. And I love Tom Brady.
I heard that on the
that boy Tom Brady said, I mean, this is what happens when your pass game just hasn't been strong the whole second half of the season. Jalen Hurts got to get the ball out of his hand fast. It's less than 4 seconds. I've heard him say that 10 times. Like, Tom, I get it. You're Mr. Dink and Dunk. Like, that is your middle name. I get it. But it's okay for somebody to do it different than you. And it makes people watching the game get a different experience. Like, because now they're thinking like, oh, Jalen Hurts ain't even playing that good. It's just so now it feeds right into the other narrative when that type of stuff's happening. And it's like, that's the only teeter when you have legitimate all-time greats critiquing the game that they played. They're going to always say things in the sense of what I could have done or what I should have done. It kind of takes away from the process that you're watching. Like, yes, bro, we know the Goblin Mask is calling you, Tom, But chill, bro. Chill.
No, absolutely.
Tom loves Hurts,
especially
like,
with the yeah. It's
He
he
does.
likes Jalen.
Yeah,
It's
he does.
he's kind of like coach. I mean, it's not like he's in his ear, but it's like when
It's like coaching,
Brady's doing that, he's trying to coach these quarterbacks, through it all. But again, the Eagles just sometimes are not 3-step drop, get the ball out, and Jalen a lot more than Tom. It's not over once that 3-step drop happens. We can move a little bit. We can make something happen, whether it's to throw the ball away or go make something with our legs. Brady did shake Urlacher one time. That was good. But Danny, floor's yours.
Yeah, Josh Allen, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception in his 4 playoff games against the Kansas City Chiefs. In his last 3, he's had 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and just shy of 900 yards. Can't ask for much more. And this is his.
Oh, but you can ask for more.
You can always.
You can always ask for more, Danny, and ask for it.
Oh.
Ask for a win. Just ask
Jalen
for
Hurts
win,
had
man.
300 total
Ask for a
yards,
win.
4 touchdowns, but he gave away.
I'm not letting that slide, Daniel Cole.
Always ask
I'm not
for
letting
more.
that slide.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
My thing is this: Josh Allen. The Bills need more, and it's not on it. Last time they played in the divisional round last year, they had like 8 drops. Diggs had drops. Also, I'm not even putting this on Josh Allen. I'm putting this on Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator Joe Brady. I don't know if he does. Like, they were joking. Allen was like, "Yeah, I don't want Brady to leave," but for whatever reason, he decided to use Ray Davis and Ty Johnson on their money drive, on their go win and send your team to the Super Bowl drive, and not James Cook. James Cook averaged 8.5 yards to carry that game. Ray Davis and Ty Johnson, 2.8. Really interesting usage of running back at that point of the game.
You know what it was, Danny? I think it was the Josh Allen go win it drive where you don't need the other guys. And that's what he tried to do. He tried to write the Superman story and lost to the real Superman, Patrick Mahomes. That's what happened.
No,
I'm
he lost to Batman.
I'm with you, Daniel. I'm with you. I said Daniel like I don't call you Danny because I'm reading right here. But yeah, I'm with you. Like, it's like, in my eyes, it was like the Josh go prove it drive. That's what I saw from the Bills. Because it's like, bro, you threw a screen to Amari Cooper in the humongous year of 2025. Like, crazy. That was for real.
That's ridiculous.
That was for real. And I'm like, bro, what is this? What is this? And like Danny said, like, the Bills that wasn't them all year. But it seemed like when the money drives it was like the Josh Allen go win it drive, not win it like we've been winning it all year, like with everybody being involved. And that's my only thing. That's the only thing.
But you're wrong there. The Bills have been throwing screens all year. They've been throwing them quick little.
But to Amari Cooper?
Not to Amari Cooper.
Yeah, that's my thing.
They might have been throwing to Kincaid or Shakir.
Yeah, Shakir, Cook, Coleman. I was seeing those guys. But Amari Cooper? I was like, what?
Oh, also, atrocious play call is throwing a jump ball to Keon Coleman on third down.
On the 3rd and goal, yeah.
What are you doing, dude?
I don't know. That was
definitely
not Brady's strongest game. I'm not going to lie.
Are they going to kill Kincaid for dropping that pass?
No, it's not even
Mark
fault.
Andrews.
That's really hard catch.
Heroic effort. You should catch it if you ask me.
Maybe catch it.
But Spags is just different. I mean, like, play of the game, and you make Josh Allen have to just make the best throw that he's just capable of making, and he did.
It was a good throw.
Tough catch.
That was insane.
It was a tough catch. I think he should have caught it, though. We're not blaming the game on him, though. Like, let's be serious.
I think if you get blitzed, usually you throw to a hot route, and the hot route looked to the swing on the left, and it was really open.
He had no shot at making that throw.
And I'm saying if he gets blitzed like he did,
he has no shot of making that throw. He's getting pressured from his left. That ball is getting
from his right.
Batted.
Right? Off the right side.
The check down, the orbit was going to the left. The pressure is coming from his left. If he threw that, they were going to bat that ball into section 218. And if you go out on a bat, that's on the quarterback. And again, it was in Kincaid's hands. It was an
he
amazing
made a
throw.
perfect throw. He made a
Probably
perfect throw.
one of two dudes in the league that can get away from making that throw. You do make the correct point. The hot route, the check down wasn't necessarily there as that geek on Twitter made it seem to be.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. It's an impossible throw, but if someone's going to make an impossible throw,
it's him. It's him. It's Mahomes.
Yeah,
you know.
Like if he's
I totally get
right, throw back across the body to Shakir left. Like,
yeah,
it's going to be him.
Yeah. My thoughts on this one. Here was my hot take. I think Allen deserves more flack for this loss than Lamar last week. The actual turnovers on paper aren't there, and maybe I'm playing a bit of a hypothetical game. We started this game, and you nearly gave the ball to the Chiefs twice in a row. Like, uncharacteristic, sure, but you almost did it. And maybe almost isn't enough, but 7 turnover-worthy plays, your numbers can look as good as they want. You put the ball in harm's way way too much. You're way too reckless with it. And to top it all off, the tush-push agenda has never been stronger for Philly. Because, again, Allen's a crib. Allen's 6'5". He's way bigger than Hurts. But he doesn't seem to be as good at it. So, as much as it seems, Hurts doesn't really do that much. Oh, yes, he does. It means a lot. The center could also play a big role.
Lower center of gravity matters, too, sometimes.
Well, Brady was 6'5", and Brady's the king of quarterback sneaks. It's not a tush-push thing, but Brady was a beast at QB sneaks. He got low.
Allen also just jumped over the line one time yesterday, which was absolutely insane. Cam Newton impression.
Jumping over the line is washed these days.
Fake Cam Newton, the real Cam Newton got the MVP. Shout out Cam.
Cam Newton lost the Super Bowl.
Cam Newton got there.
Shout out Cam. Thank you.
Cam got there.
Cam Newton, please.
I love Cam Newton.
More than Josh Allen.
You say Cam Newton lost in the Super Bowl, like Allen's ever even going to get to one at this rate.
Or MVP or anything, please.
You forgot. Kelsey retires. Mahomes.
That boy closer to Damian Lillard.
He's older than
Mahomes gonna come to the Steelers. Because Lamar.
What are you talking? Wait. What are you even talking about?
Mahomes comes to the Steelers because he wants to play Lamar more twice a year.
Okay. Mahomes may have every single person in the AFC's number. Don't get me wrong. I'm not signing up to play Lamar Jackson. 2 times more a year. I'm not doing that.
But you know what you will sign up to
Mahomes
do?
is gonna go. He's gonna go Duck Bo Nix. Actually,
you sign up to go play DTR, Russell Wilson, and who else is over there?
Well, he joined the Steelers, so he wouldn't.
You
get to practice with Russell Wilson.
You can practice with Justin Fields. Trust.
Yeah. But I think Mahomes easily. I mean, he's the king at peaking at the right time. You'll question their wins all year, and then suddenly his December and January numbers look like 16 touchdown passes to 1 turnover, and he's at his highest yards per attempt throughout from the entire year.
And he started rushing the ball.
Yeah. Like Nick Wright, cool stat. Ever since he dislocated his kneecap, he's gotten 3 design QB runs, and 2 of them were last night. One was a read option, and he took it in from like 12 yards out. And then the worst attempt at a spike I've ever seen in my life. But he looked real good on the ground when they asked him to. And, of course, even with Kelsey having a quiet night, Xavier Worthy had the game of his life. DeAndre Hopkins had a solid outing.
Juju Smith-Schuster, baby.
Big
Juju, man. Pacheco and Hunt got things going early.
Pacheco, I got to start getting that CDL, brother. It might be ugly. Might be ugly.
But it's they just find ways to win. They find ways to win. There's not necessarily the secret serum is the culture. Just finding it. Look, it used to have to look pretty. It used to have to be bombs to Tyreek and Sammy Watkins and all them and the Legion of Zoom.
DeMarcus Robinson.
Yo, they stepped up come playoff time, or Mahomes made them at the very least. But now
MBS.
It's like, you know what? We're going to be methodical. We're not going to turn the ball over. They even lost the turnover battle last night. It didn't matter. They still won. And for the first time all year, they cracked 30 points. And they had to because the Bills had 29. So you had no choice but to get 30. And they did it. I thought the offense was marvelous last night. Defense did give up 29, but Spags, it's about the moments with him. They're very bend, don't break, and he is aggressive at the same time. So shout out to Spags. As long as he stays in Kansas City, the dynasty is well, of course, Mahomes is the thing, but Spags keeping that defense competitive, regardless of who's on that side of the ball, they're going to keep going to Super Bowls.
Yeah, our pre-playoff Super Bowl prediction has came true. The prophecy.
That's true. It did not exactly how I thought it would happen, but it did happen. I didn't think the Eagles would be beating the Commanders, and I didn't think the Chiefs would be beating the Bills. I thought it was going to be the Ravens. But
at least it saved Chris some heartbreak.
No, it didn't say meaning heartbreak. Lamar's going to beat Pat next time they play.
No, you're not. The problem is you want Pat to get beat by like Russell Wilson or something. And
no. I want Pat to get beat by Lamar. That's what I want. That's what I want. I want Lamar to beat Pat and then to go beat somebody in the NFC. That's really what I want. You know what I want? This would be great right here. Beat Josh Allen first, then beat Pat to get to the Super Bowl, and then it's somebody
lose to Jalen Hurts. Lose to Jalen Hurts.
Because I actually wouldn't mind losing Jalen Hurts. I like Jalen Hurts. So I don't want Jalen Hurts to be in there because I want Lamar to win. I want it to be like Jared Goff or somebody, or Stafford, somebody I don't really like. So then
Stafford will retire.
Well, not yet. Next year he has to stay, and then we beat Stafford, and then everything else happened the way they wanted to.
So, though, what's funny where you say so Lamar is widely known like doesn't lose to NFC teams. Jalen Hurts widely doesn't lose to AFC teams.
Yep.
I think Jalen Hurts' record against AFC teams is like bonkers, like 12-2, 12-1, something like that. Lamar's, it's the same thing. So whenever they do get a chance to meet, it's always like, regular season wise, the best two teams. At least
I would love to see
interconference games.
Ravens Bucks Super Bowl.
Yeah, we're good, man. We're good.
Yeah, I
like my games competitive.
Well, if Bucky Irvin's gonna be in this, he's a hometown kid. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with
Bucky Irvin. Yo, Chris, I don't know if you're on the side of the internet, but there's those people that call like Bucky Irving lover. And they'll just make.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You might be like one of 9,000 people on that side of it.
No, Chris. It's these people just love. He posted a video about post about Bucky Irving. He's like Bucky Irving has more Super Bowls than your favorite player, and they'll have like Mahomes and Brady on his tiny on his shoulders.
I'm cool with that. Bucky's a beast, bro. And like I say, he's from a high school that I went to probably 20 minutes away from there. So everybody in Chicago been like just super supporting him. So it's been cool to see this. And like I said, I haven't seen many Chicago football players for real make impact in the NFL. So it's been dope to see him be good. But I'm not on that side of Twitter. I need to be over there.
Speaking of Chicago,
I would like to read.
You can go thank the Bears.
I would like to go one more stat before we get out of here. Jalen Hurts against the blitz this year has been notoriously bad. I'm not going to lie. Yesterday, though, he was blitzed on 55% of his dropbacks. Second most this year. The only person who blitzed him higher was Todd Bowles, and that was at 70. That was ridiculous, and that was without the two starting receivers. He went 10 for 16 this game for 141 yards and only took 1 sack. So against Spags, who's going to send the heat, I think Jalen Hurts is picking a right time to be great against the blitz. So we won't preview that game. We'll wait till
next week.
Probably next Thursday. Closest.
Basketball Monday. Go basketball Monday.
Yeah, Thursday, but yeah. Something like that. But yeah. I did. One more thing before we get on out of here.
I had one thing as well.
You can go first.
I had a player. No, you can go first because I have a player that you guys are gonna figure out how to do.
Oh! I didn't know we were adding that on. See, you got to communicate better. You got to let me know if we're doing that. Is it NBA or NFL?
NFL. See,
bro, you gotta communicate that better. You're ruining my chapters. You're not the one who has to deal with all that. Anyway, my only thing was that Todd Monken is signing an extension with the Ravens. So
I seen that.
Lamar gets to keep a coordinator for a second year in a row.
Finally. Because if Zach Orr has another good season, you know what's going to happen. Oh, I think Zach Orr may be ready to go be defensive coordinator somewhere else. Or maybe.
All right, let's get this trivia out the way. Is this player currently playing?
No.
Oh, did they retire less than 5 years ago?
No.
Oh, okay. It's an older guy.
Is this player a Hall of Famer?
Not that I know of.
Oh, come on, man. Here we go. You got a player that you just thought of on the spot. You don't even
He's
have
a good player. He has 45. He had 44 career touchdowns. I mean, he's not.
Can you pull up, dude? Just pull up the reference page if you don't know.
Yeah, I have it up. He's not a Hall of Famer.
It should tell you Hall of Famer if
It's
he's a Hall of Famer or not. Okay.
No.
44 touch. I don't know if that helps me that much.
Shouldn't.
Is he a wide receiver?
Yep.
No.
That's the only thing he probably helps you with. No.
Low touchdown mark.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he didn't retire with that. Well, Julio never technically retired, but yeah, so he's a little older than that. Only 45 touchdowns.
Did they play in the AFC North?
A brief stint. You wouldn't know him for the AFC North, though.
Man, I was thinking of
Brief stint. Only 45.
Do not think AFC North.
Okay. Wow, this is brutal.
My one hit. He cracked 1,000 yards. In 2012.
Oh, 1 year? Like what? He cracked 1,000 yards in 2012.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Is it like Stevie Johnson?
No, it's not Stevie Johnson.
Well.
It's a wide receiver.
Start blasting off. Try to get into the division.
Okay, let me get a conference. Or do you already get the conference?
No, we didn't get that yet.
Okay. NFC. Did they play a good portion of NFC?
Yeah, mainly, like entirely, pretty much.
Mainly
that one thing.
NFC. Man, 2012 wide receivers. NFC.
Nate Burleson.
No.
Wow.
I know that's really random, but I just,
Hey, that's not bad though. That's not bad. Did he play in the NFC North?
No.
Okay.
Was Nate correct?
No.
Okay. So only knew one more Nate. I was gonna say.
This guy went to Toledo.
Yeah, that surely helps.
That doesn't help you.
Why'd you say it?
I don't know. I just didn't know if Chris had like some abnormal Toledo
NFC
ball
South?
knowledge. Yeah.
NFC South?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Is it Roddy White?
No, not Roddy White. He's got to have more than 44.
I'm thinking of a
Didn't know.
tight end that played with Tom Brady, but but you said it's a wide receiver.
He's a wide receiver.
Dang it, bro.
He played against Roddy White quite often.
Well, he would have to if it's the NFC South. Thanks. No, because he went to. I was gonna say Marquise Colston. He went to Hofstra though.
Went to Hofstra? Didn't know that.
Yeah. So did Giovanni Carmazzi.
That's ball knowledge right there.
Shout out Brady 6. Y'all bums.
Do you remember who played with Marquise Colston?
It is not Lance. Is it Lance Moore?
Lance
Get
Moore.
out of here. Who even thinks of that?
I've heard the name Lance Moore a lot.
Lance Moore is he was fun.
Ow.
He's a little bit of a goof.
I thought he was solid.
But nah,
1,000 yards.
I don't even know why you were like, why are you even thinking of him?
Don't know.
But nonetheless, that's everything we got for you guys today. Again, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, audio platforms, follow, leave a like. From AP New Freezer, cultured by Migos DC Comics. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on Thursday.